Hello, I'm Harry, and what you're currently watching is a pitch reel idea for a documentary that I'd like to make later on this year. The documentary that I'll be creating is all for college, as for after the summer term we've got to create a short documentary. Now, I know what you're probably wondering, at the time I'm recording this, early 2019, why am I creating a documentary that won't even be needed to be handed in, not until nearby Christmas? Well, I'll get into that in a little bit, but first of all, what is this documentary about? So, what this documentary is about, it's about life before the dinosaurs. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows that life originally began in the ocean, but what a lot of people might not realise is that for a short period of time, when life emerged out of the ocean, it actually wasn't reptiles or dinosaurs as creatures that were roaming around, it was actually giant insects. Roughly about 80 million years before the first dinosaur was knocking around. The documentary will start off by presenting the first life forms to emerge out of the water onto the land, which were insect-like creatures. The documentary will then skip about several million years and explain as to why on earth insects rule the earth for a brief period of time. The segments where we'll be watching the animals during the prehistoric past will be done through animation, and they'll be intercut with live action segments with me going around the UK looking for fossils that represents the relics of the past. And for the grand finale, I'll talk about the mass extinction that wiped out all these animals as to why don't we have giant insects running around anymore. And just briefly summing up of what came next. And of course, a lot of animation tests and designs. The animals are going to be so essential for this documentary as they will be the stars. Like Nigel said, when people are watching nature documentaries, they're not watching it for the presenter, they're watching it for the animals. As the audience are primarily focused on the animals, so they're the star of the programme. So how I'm going to do the animation, it's a bit similar to how I did my road safety advert a couple of months back, using 2D animation. I was very happy of seeing how successful integrating cartoon animation into live action was, so I want to achieve a similar thing to this prehistoric documentary. Most notably, one place I really want to go to for this summer is the Isle of Arran, an island near Scotland, where it's got some remains of some of these mighty animals that lived so long ago. I intend the majority of my scenes talking about these ancient animals will mainly take place on the Isle of Arran. Now, I'm intending to go to the Isle of Arran this summer to hopefully film some of the clips I'll need for this documentary. I won't be able to go back to Arran by the time I get back to college, so I need to prep up and plan out as to what exactly I want to film, so you can kind of guess as to why I kind of want to, start the project a little bit early. The reason why I want to make this documentary is because I feel not too many people really know about the past history on Earth. Granted, everybody knows about the dinosaurs. A fair few amount do know about, the Ice Age, Neanderthals, woolly mammoths, but not a lot of people really know about as to what came before the dinosaurs. And there have been several documentaries made in the past about this time in Earth's history, such as Walking with Monsters, Prehistoric Park, but they're only a tiny portion compared to the amount of dinosaur documentaries you get. My goal of the documentary is to make people more aware about the life that existed before the dinosaurs, and it might encourage them to learn a bit more about what happened before the dinosaurs, as like I said, what this documentary is covering is only going to really be a tiny portion of the life that existed long before the dinosaurs. Now finally, after all that context out the way, let's get into this pitch reel. Now, like I said, this is just some test animation, but I've added a bit of narration on top of it. I edited this together to sort of get the feeling as to what the documentary may look like if this was actually a segment taken out of the final documentary. The two animals that you'll be seeing in this documentary is Brontoscorpio, one of the earliest animals to walk on the land, and Arthroplura, and was the largest arthropod to ever exist. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoy this little pitch reel of what might come.
one of the earliest known animals to leave the great depths of the ocean was a distant relative of modern-day scorpions. It was called Brontoscorpion, being about a metre long, and their stinger being the same size as a light bulb. Although, apart from the obvious difference in size, the body template is still largely the same. Compared to that, to modern day scorpions, just goes to show on how adaptable the scorpion species is. And the species of Brontoscorpio had a huge advantage over the other animals that were coexisting at the time, with Brontoscorpio's legs not only being perfectly usable to walk along the seabed, but they could also be used for travelling on the land. A wonderful advantage of predators such as Brontoscorpio emerging onto land is that they get to feast on any dead carcasses that washes up along the shoreline. For Brontoscorpio and their arthropod relatives, being amongst the group of animals that have taken the first steps onto dry land, this will set a stage as for the next 120 million years to come, their descendants will dominate the world, and for the only time in Earth's history, insects will rule the planet.